right wing or left wing?
I really like buffalo wings.
Hi, and welcome back to Through the Muck and the Mire. I'm your host, David Hollifield. Or if this is your first time joining me, probably because it's about jiu-jitsu, you might be confused why the introduction to this channel is about politics. It's actually a political channel, but politics drains the shit out of me, and jiu-jitsu has been a huge release for me since I took it up about 5 months ago. So I want to mix it up a little bit on this channel and have, a mental break for myself every now and then. So anyways, that's why I'm doing a video on my first BJJ tournament, which I'm sure, as you could tell by the title of the episode, that I won. Oh, where's it at? 2 chains. Yeah. Double gold, gi and no gi. So we're going to go over what that experience was like for me. I haven't done a video exactly like this before. So what I'm going to try to do is place some videos right here on the screen for you with their audio playing, and I'm going to speak over it. It sounds like a terrible idea, but we're going to find out what happens. So first, though, I took a couple notes just about, some things I wanted to make sure I talk about that are important for this video. Probably the reason why you're watching the video. Maybe you've never done a tournament before. You don't even have to be a white belt to not have done a tournament. You could be an upper belt and just curious what tournament experience is like. So anyways, a lot of people ask me, were you nervous? I've even had upper belts be like, oh man, you must have been so nervous. I've never done it. I would be nervous if I did it, this and that. And to be completely honest with you, I had nerves. Okay, so when I first signed up, when I first thought about signing up, I was like, this sounds cool. Like, I feel like I've done a good job of progressing as a new white belt. And I had a lot of, my friends and coaches and, people at my gym, which, by the way, I train at American Top Team Lima in Gwinnett County, Georgia. So anyways, it's like a tight group of people, and especially like one of my best friends there is also like a coach too. He's a purple belt, and he's always blowing up my head. Oh man, you're doing so great. You're progressing so well and all this stuff. And I can't ever tell if he's just blowing the smoke or if I'm actually getting better as quickly as he says. So, anyways, the point is, I felt pretty confident in myself, and I was like, I think, I started back in March. The tournament was in July. I was hoping that I would feel comfortable enough by July to compete. And by the time July came around, I'd gotten more confident. And then all of a sudden, I felt like I was just getting my butt kicked. Like every single time I went to the gym, I was like, white belts that were, 10, 15, 20 pounds lighter than me, just wrapping me up. Like, there's this one guy at our gym that's just this, he's like 125 pounds, real lanky, long legs. And that kid, I'll get him in side control and he'll just wrap his legs around me and just choke me out like out of nowhere. I'm like, what the hell? So there was a point where I started getting very nervous before the tournament was coming up. And I was like, damn, if I can't even beat the white belts at my own gym, how am I going to go to a tournament? So the nerves came like before the actual tournament. And then, it came time for the tournament, for me to actually go to the tournament. And by that time I kind of worked through it. I did a lot of one-on-ones, which, I highly recommend doing something outside of just going to class. Like if this is something that you're serious about going, especially if you're only going like once or twice a week, you should be studying YouTube videos if you're not already. Like I spend a lot of time on YouTube looking up stuff. I probably learned half of my knowledge is probably just from watching YouTube videos and not even being able to practice it live because I don't have a practice partner. But just like having that in the back of my head, I burned it in my head. So next time I'm rolling, if I can remember a situation from a YouTube video, I'm going to try it. And that's actually helped a lot, tremendously. And then also I reached out to upper belts and, friends that have done it for a long time. And we met up in between classes at the gym or something like that. So, or if you find an upper belt that offers classes, like there's a few at my gym that offer classes, you can pay for them one-on-one. If this is something you're serious about, then absolutely do it, because I feel like, that's probably what gave me the edge in the competition. Especially for takedowns. I had no knowledge of takedowns. I played football in like middle school. That's like the most takedown training that I've, ever actually had was just a regular football tackle. And if you do that in a jiu-jitsu tournament, you're going to get your freaking head ripped off with a guillotine. So don't do it. But anyways, I spent a lot of time training, my weak points with people outside of class. And that helped tremendously. So that actually brings me to a funny point, which I'm going to share a video with you guys real quick. So on my Instagram page, it's also called Through the Muck and the Mire. I do these stupid little quick videos where I have a fake accent and I'm like BJJ pro tips, and I just say stupid stuff. But some people like them. Anyways, talking about takedowns and not being good at them. I made this one as a joke, like poking a joke at myself, because I felt going into this tournament, I just couldn't do takedowns. I was just like, I can't do it. So anyways, here's my little BJJ pro tip.
Hey y'all, it's speaking Dave with the BJJ Pro Tips with Dave. And for those of you that don't know how to do the takedown for the tournament coming up, without giving up your head and your neck for the guillotine, I don't have that issue because I'm a pro, but maybe some of y'all not as good as I am. I think that you should just pull guard. That's my advice. Just pull guard. And people might call you a sissy for it, but I'd rather be a sissy winner than a tough loser. Who's going to be laughing when you go home with your gold medal that day? So take my advice, pull guard and be a winner. Try it.
So that I was actually talking about myself. I was like, well, I wasn't planning on, I definitely wasn't planning on pulling guard, actually, to be honest with you. I had just started working on other things like a duck under, you shove there. And don't be too harsh on me if I don't know like proper terms or whatever. But anyways, duck under where you shove their arm up and duck under it, I'd worked on that and worked on some trips. Stuff like that, instead of going for single legs and double legs. That's specifically what I'm talking about. I didn't feel comfortable with those, so I started working on things other than singles and doubles, but I had no intention of pulling guard whatsoever, even though, honestly, like, you can do so many things from guard. Like, it's just like one of those things that people say, but like, at the end of the day, like, that's jiu-jitsu. So anyways, so the nerves going into the actual tournament, I was just telling myself, like, for one, like, this is like, it's a white belt tournament. It's a beginner's white belt tournament. What the heck's there to be nervous about? I've done much crazier things in my life. I mean, I served in the military. And even without thinking about like other situations that are scarier than this, I've rolled with purple, brown, black belts, like, what is there to actually be nervous about here? You're just going to a tournament to grapple with people that are, supposed to be the same skill level as you. So I think by the time it actually got to the tournament, I'd done a good job of calming myself, and I was just kind of like in the zone. And yeah, I honestly can't say that I really had nerves the day of the actual event, which was awesome. I don't know how the other guys felt about it. Actually, I looked at so in Naga, which is the tournament that I did, or through Smooth Comp, where you like register for the actual competition, you can see their like fighter profiles or whatever. And I'm pretty sure all of the people that I rolled with have all competed before. So this wasn't their first competition. I think I was the only one that it was my first competition. And a few of these guys won gold in their competitions before me. So that's actually something that did get me nervous. I went into Smooth Comp, checked out their profiles, their fighter profiles. I would recommend not doing that because you just get in your own head, like especially if you've never done it before and then you start seeing like, oh, this guy's done, 1 or 2 or even 3 competitions and he won gold at this one, whatever. I did that to myself like a week before the competition. And like I said, I got in my own head. Luckily, the guys that I was training with outside of class, I was talking with them and they're like, dude, you're overthinking this. Like, quit looking at that crap. Just worry about your own skills. Don't worry about what anybody else has done. And that was the right thing to tell me because I ended up winning. So, the level of competition, or I guess, I don't know if I would say level of competition, but the intensity, I guess, is a better way to phrase it. It's pretty intense. I mean, I actually ended up getting injured. I don't even know what happened, but my right knee, I haven't trained in the last like 3 weeks since the competition because I messed up my right knee, unfortunately. And I still have to get an MRI to see exactly what it is, but it kind of feels like tendonitis, honestly. But anyways, that's beside the point. Especially since you're starting on your feet, once again, talking about takedowns, it's just a different thing because, as far as I know, most gyms don't train. You train some takedowns, but you start your rolls typically in class on your knees. My gym, they let us, like when you're getting closer to a competition or whatever, if you want to start training on your feet, you can. But in general, it's just not something that people do a lot in jiu-jitsu most of the time. Especially beginners, you're going to be starting on your knees. So, that in itself changes a lot of things. But also there's definitely some adrenaline. And yeah, it's pretty intense, but, you just gotta just be calm. Some people will coach you and tell you to like make sure that you're keeping track of your own points if it's a points-based system, and make eye contact with the judge, the referee, or whatever. Make sure you're getting your points. I just let my coaches take care of that. Like, they were on the sidelines. If the audio is loud enough, you'll probably hear them asking the ref, "Hey, did he get a point for this?" Whatever. I completely just didn't pay attention to that shit whatsoever. The only thing on my mind was control the fight. Just be in a dominant position. If you're in a dominant position for most of the fight, or you're submitting somebody, then you won. Like, that's just the way I thought about it. So I wasn't really concerned with, did I hold this for however many seconds, and then like making eye contact with the referee or whatever. There's no harm in doing that, but that just wasn't my strategy. Sorry, I got some notes down here I'm looking up. So I talked about nerves, talked about the level of competition, and yeah, adrenaline. All right. So then the brackets. So my 2 brackets that I was in, no gi and gi, they're pretty small. So it's not like I won double gold, gi and no gi, but it's not like I went and beat the crap out of a whole bunch of people. I really only had 3 matches, and Naga's not. I guess Naga's not like a major competition, or whatever. But I signed up for master's level, so I'm 31 years old. So I signed up for the 30 and above, and obviously white belt, middleweight. I was like around 178 at the time. And yeah, so these are the 2 brackets. The first one is the one on the left, was no gi, and it was only 3 of us. So what happened was, I'll show you the video of me and Robert. We went first, and I beat him. So then Robert and Aaron went against each other. And if Aaron had won that, then me and Aaron would have went at it for gold. But since I beat Robert, and then Robert actually ended up beating Aaron, I automatically got gold, and Robert got silver. And then for the other bracket, Aaron went first, and he beat Brent. And then me and DeAnthony went. I beat him, obviously. So then Brent and DeAnthony, I believe, went before us for bronze, and then me and Aaron. And obviously I beat Aaron. So a couple things I'll say about them, too, is, well, I'm not going to say who's who, but so you're supposed to be, for this competition, these were supposed to be like 6 months or less for the no-gi, at least. For no-gi, I'm pretty sure it said like 6 months or less of experience. One of the people that we rolled with, he told me later when we were talking, I buddied up with these guys after we rolled, but told me later that he'd actually been training off and on for 5 years. And so I was like, oh shit, like I've been here for 5 months. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really sandbagging. I mean, I guess he felt like he was in our level of competition, but yeah, I mean, you don't really know how long these people have been training. And if you go into Smooth Comp and you look at their fighting records, then you can see at least a little bit if they've been competing. I think all of them had been competing for at least 4 or 5 months at the time. But one of them had a competition. No, that was for gi, white belt gi. DeAnthony had he had a competition the year before or 2 years before that, but that was just white belt. There was no requirement of it being 6 months or less. So incorrect on that. But yeah, on the no-gi one, it was supposed to be 6 months or less, and one of those guys had 5 years off and on. Let's see. All right, so I guess let's just jump into it. Match 1 was with Robert. Super cool guy, by the way. All these guys were really cool. A little bit of slap fighting. Oh, look at that. I end up shooting on him here. Get the double leg. He wraps me up. Luckily, he didn't wrap my neck up. I might have been in trouble if he guillotined me. He wrapped up my body. I get my body across his, start circling around, side control. I spent most of this match in this position, pretty much. Eventually, I get him into an arm triangle, but he wraps up my leg. You'll see in a little bit.
David.
Can I get Nick ring 2?
I was having a hard time getting anything done from here, so I think in a minute here, right here, I go knee on belly just to make sure I'm getting some more points. I think that one I counted in my head, at least 3 seconds, and then I switched. I tried to go into a Kesagatami there. If you don't know what Kesagatami is, you should definitely look that up on YouTube. And it helped me get my head under his arm for that arm triangle. But if you can see, my right leg is wrapped up. He's got me in a half guard, and I just could not get my leg free. He told me I almost choked him out anyways, even with my leg tied up, but I couldn't really do anything else. So he's about to break out of this, and then we stand back up in a minute.
Come on, David. 130, David. Come on. Take him down again. Calm down, dude. Calm down.
He's tired now, David. Just stay calm.
Keep stacking, David. Keep stacking.
That single's there all day.
So I mentioned earlier I was working on duck unders because I didn't want to do singles and doubles. But this is the first match, and that dude was locked up really tight. I couldn't push his arm up to get a duck under, so I just said screw it and just shot. See, that time he wrapped up my head a little bit, but I was able to get my body across, so he couldn't actually choke me. And that was the end of the match. I win. Awesome. So that's match 1. And then he goes on to beat Aaron. And that takes us to the gi competition, which also worth mentioning. So that was my first match. I had like hours, I think like 2 or 3 hours between no gi and gi. So I wasn't like, you know, super gassed or anything going right into my next match. Aaron, on the other hand, who was my third match. So this guy, Psycho, signed up for I don't even know how many brackets he signed up for. But I think by the time he got to his match with me at the very end, I think he had already rolled with like 7 people at least. And he actually had a match immediately before our match. Like we got called up to the mat and he was still rolling on another mat. I had to go my bad. I had to go stop the refs on our side from like docking him or whatever, because they were like calling our names, and I was like, hey, he's literally like on that mat right there, he's still rolling with somebody. So they had to like postpone our match because he was rolling with somebody else. So anyways, props to you, bro. I don't know why the hell you signed up for that many brackets, but you know, I guess you got your money's worth. He did absolute. I don't know if he did no gi absolute and gi absolute, but yeah, he was in absolute gi. I think he got, I don't know. He either got bronze or he might have got silver. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's go into match number 2. This was D'Anthony, I believe was his name. So this one, man, I got pissed off in this one. Not at D'Anthony. I got pissed off kind of at the ref, I guess. So all right, so he almost got me there. He just dropped all of his body weight and dragged. He tried to trip me, but luckily I stepped over it. But we just fight like this the entire time, just standing up. It got to the last minute of the match before anything actually happens. I'm gonna let it play out, but basically they kept stopping it. They stopped us, I think, twice for they called it stalling. I don't know exactly what the rules are for stalling. I think he said if you keep the same grip for like more than 20 seconds and don't do anything with it, then you're considered stalling, something like that. But yeah, that was pretty annoying because I mean I was shooting, I was going for takedowns, and he was just defending them. So it's not like we were not doing anything. When I think of stalling, I think of, you know, I don't know, getting to side control or mount and then literally not doing anything or not attempting to shoot at all. You know, we were going at it here. This dude was strong, man. This guy was strong as shit. I couldn't break his grips.
Rachel Davis from Shrine BJJ.
Just went over, Dave. We just went over. You know what to do.
Shoot, baby. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
I think I almost get him right here. I almost got him. I can't remember if it was a single or double. You're going to see it in a minute, but we almost ran into the referee table, so that didn't work out.
2 minutes, Dave. 2 minutes. Leverage and sweep. Leverage and sweep.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Take the pull and shoot.
Dude, you're in the way. Oh, you good? Oh, it's getting my way.
I actually thought I was more visibly pissed off than I am in here. There, I threw a hand up a little bit.
Don't worry about it, David. Don't worry about it.
It's like, what the hell, man? We're going at it here. But it wasn't enough. So that is actually, if you remember the BJJ pro tip from the beginning here, my coach is over here in the corner saying, we talked about it before. Just do it. Just do it. She's talking about just pulling guard.
Got nothing to lose, Dave. 1 minute. 1 minute to make it happen. Let's go.
And there we go. So I pull guard on him. I throw up my legs immediately for a triangle.
Reach up and grab the leg, David.
It's not working. I can't break his posture. He had his arm locked out. And again, this dude was strong as shit. So coach says, switch to an arm bar. So I immediately switched to an arm bar. And he actually locked it in a little. He picked my body up and it kind of, he hurt himself there because he just helped me lock it in tighter. So that was match 2. All right, and now for the final match. I actually meant to do this earlier. I typically have a drink when I do my videos. So if you drink, I hope you cracked one open already. Cheers. So video number 3, or match number 3, I guess I should say. This was right after he finished his other match. I'm pretty sure if I had faced him fresh in the gi, I don't know about no gi. I mean, he got beat by the other guy in no gi. Pretty well, no, not quickly, but I mean, he got beat. But gi is his strong suit, and I feel like if he was fresh in a gi, Aaron could probably take me. Or we would go back and forth. I mean, I'm not saying he would whoop my butt or anything, but I mean, this is us going at it, and with him just worn out. So he did it to himself, though, for signing up for all those brackets. But either way. Basically, in all these matches, I mean, well, for the second one, we didn't really go to the ground, so I couldn't do anything. But my goal in all of these is basically to get to side control. That's my favorite place to be, and I've gotten pretty decent at doing it. So I like to go to side control, and then from there, if I can get into Keisugatami, there's all kinds of different stuff you can attack from Keisugatami. So that's where I like to go. But another favorite of mine is that arm triangle that I tried to get on Robert in match 1. But as you can see here, oh, look at that. Almost got hit. Wasn't even scared. We just kept on rolling. But yeah, Aaron does a good job of using those long legs and does not let me pass. Try to circle around, and he just slides those legs in. Oh, I almost almost gave myself up for a triangle. That's what I'm saying. If he was, fresh, I think he might have been a little quicker to throw me in a triangle right there. I literally almost gave it to him. To finally get into side control. I think he was just locked up on my gi, and I couldn't really do anything with him. Like I'm trying to go for the arm triangle again, and yeah, he's just got good grips and he holds it. Yeah, try to get him in a triangle here. Almost had a mounted triangle too. He gets out. Luckily, I had enough energy to sprawl around and get back into guard. You see his face. He's checking the points, and I was up. I can't remember what my points were at, but I was beating him at that point, and he was exhausted. And that's it, man. That is that. So, hold on a second. So another BJJ pro tip for you real quick.
Hey y'all, it's Mick and Dave with the BJJ Pro Tips with Dave. And I keep seeing all these people posting about if you lose, you're either winning or you're learning. And that's bullshit. If you lose, you're a loser. And if you win, then you won and you're a winner. And the only way that you can not be a loser is next time you win. So don't lose. Try it.
Why is that not going away? Oh, there it is. Anyways, yeah, so that's mostly a joke. Mostly. I mean, I get like the whole if you don't win, you learn or whatever. I feel like I'm coming off as like a douchebag right now, but my perspective on it is that like if I went into that competition prepared to lose. Like I told you, I get my butt kicked in the gym every time, like every single time. And it doesn't matter if it's a blue belt or a brand new white belt might even kick my ass. I just don't have a problem with losing. And that's like the issue that I have with that mindset of like, it's not losing, it's learning or whatever. It's like, why does losing have to be something that you get butthurt over to where you need to change, like make up this phrase of like, oh no, if you don't win, you learn. You can learn. Well, you're learning as a winner. Also, you learn whether you win or you lose, but you also win or you lose. That's why we're competing in the first place, to find out whose jiu-jitsu was better that day. So, I say it in jest, but I also mean it a little bit. But they say like every joke has a morsel of truth to it or whatever. Anyways, I won the first match by points, and I think it was 5-0. And then the second one, obviously by submission, and then the third one, I won, I believe, 5-2. I can't remember. It might have said it in the video actually. But yeah, so I won 2 matches by points and 1 by submission, by armbar. And then, so there's another thing I want to say about losing. If you lose, it's fine. Just admit it. Just go with it. You don't have to make excuses. And these guys were fucking awesome. These guys were great people. We hung out between matches and after matches and stuff like that. We all got photos together. One of them, D'Anthony, actually texts me like pretty regularly. But there's another guy on YouTube. You might watch his channel. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but he's like a badass Marine guy, and he got into jiu-jitsu. And I watched his first competition video, and he lost some matches in his first competition. And in his video, he's just making up excuses about how, if there was more time, then I could have won. We trained for longer matches in my gym. I'm like, what kind of excuse is that? Like, you lost. It's fine. It's fine. Just win next time. It's okay. Or whatever. Train. I guess next time you need to train for shorter matches. I can't remember. Oh yeah. The other thing was like, just making like these condescending remarks about, he did his plan and won by points or whatever. He worked the point system. You signed up for a competition that you can win by points. And the way that you win by points is by being more dominant in your jiu-jitsu. So, at the end of the day, you weren't able to submit the person like you wanted to. And he was able to, get you in worse positions throughout the entirety of your match. So you lost. Like, whatever excuse you want to make, whatever, you lost. Just be humble about it. Just accept it. Take the L. It's not a big deal. Nobody cares. These guys were cool, and I promise you on my life, if they whooped my ass, I would not be on here crying about, if I had more time or this or that. Like, I already said it like 3 times on here. I get my ass kicked every time I go into the gym. And I was scared at one point to go into this tournament because I get my ass kicked every time I go to my gym. So it's not a big deal. It's really not. That's my dog in the background. I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to do some more jiu-jitsu content. I'm going to do a video with veterans. Myself, I think I might have said that already. I'm a veteran, and it has helped me tremendously mentally and physically, obviously. I've lost weight. I drink less alcohol. I just feel better in general, and I've met a lot of awesome, amazing people. So it's done a lot of good things for my mental health, for sure. So I'm going to do a video with some veterans and talk about the benefits that we get from it. I might also do a video with police officers and talk about that's my dog again. Adopt a Cop BJJ, and the ways that it also benefits police officers. So that's it. And once again, I hope you enjoyed it. And follow me on social media. Goodbye.